got to tell you something about New York City. This city right now. It used to be one of the top tourist destinations in the country, but no. I have to urge you to follow Kamala Harris's advice, actually.
Do not come. Do not come.
All right. She was talking about some other place to some other people, but do not come to New York right now. No, that is from the bottom of my heart. You've got to avoid this town, at least for the time being, because we have some crazy people who are running the show right now, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Now, that man taking the oath of office is the new district attorney for New York County, Manhattan. His name is Alvin Bragg, and he believes that this crime that you're about to see, a man, an armed robbery, that if he should be arrested and if he should be convicted, he should not go to jail. Well, no one was hurt. No one was hurt. He just showed a gun. No one was actually hurt. Lowering that crime from a felony to petty larceny, and no requirement, no recommendation even for prison. This is wild, and this is happening in America. What about resisting arrest? You would imagine, I mean, I've heard this a million times. If you resist arrest, that's just going to make your situation worse. They'll charge you for this stuff. You can't resist arrest. Well, they won't prosecute you for resisting arrest. So to the criminals, why not resist arrest? What do you have to lose? Nothing. The office will not prosecute resisting arrest. It gets crazier from there. I mentioned last year, 2020, things were bad even with a totally not insane prosecutor. All these folks, by the way, they just, we're going to let this one go. Nobody was charged, but that was kind of seen as a one-time thing. You know, liberal prosecutors getting down with the Black Lives Matter movement. But now it's all official. Smash and grab robberies. Well, if no one was hurt, no recommendation of prison, possibly no prosecution whatsoever. Oh, and obstructing governmental administration, no prosecution. Now, what is obstructing governmental administration? That's what they're getting the January 6ers on. All right. Now, this, I am told, is the worst thing that ever happened in American history. But if it happens in New York, no problem whatsoever. Now, I'm sorry, this may make people more likely to come to New York. I don't know. Prostitution, it's actually no joke. It's a horrible lifestyle, and there are many victims. That won't be prosecuted. That doesn't seem right. This guy is just making this stuff up as he goes along, it seems. Oh, fare evasion. Not paying for the subway or for the bus. Now, that may seem like not such a big deal. It is. When people just ride the subway for free, we learned this all the way back in the 80s and 90s. That encourages crime. If they're going to commit a little crime, they'll be emboldened to commit a bigger crime. There's data to back this up. You know where some of this nonsense is coming from? Not just from the new guy, Alvin Bragg, more on him in a moment, but yes, this lunatic.
It's not a border crisis. It's an imperialism crisis. It's a climate crisis. It's a trade crisis. And also, it's a carceral crisis because, as I have already said, even during this term and this president, our immigration system is based and designed on our carceral system.
Now, carceral is a word that the liberals like to use when they want to sound smart when they're talking about prisons and incarceration. So she helped bring on this nonsense. She, Soros, all those people. By the way, the new guy who's in charge of prosecuting in one of the most important counties in the world, New York County, take a look at this. In New York City, 8 million people live here, all right? 8 million people. How many do you think voted for this guy? 86,000 voted for Alvin Bragg. What percentage of New York City's population is that? 1%, just over 1%. It's kind of crazy. Now, granted, he ran for one county in New York where there are about 2 million people or so, but Manhattan is the center of it all, and people come in not only from all over the city, but all over the tri-state area, all over the country, all over the world. And 86,000 people allowed this to happen. Interestingly, they're going to go full-bore prosecution and full-bore prison for public corruption. Now, I don't have a problem with that, but why wouldn't he take this? Why wouldn't he reevaluate this? A lot of these folks don't pose a violent threat to the community because corruption means headlines often. For the fake news media, they just love that, especially if it's a Republican. All right, now this.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Of course, Black Lives Matter, but not the way the Black Lives Matter movement says. They only care when a black life is taken by a white cop. But what about all lives, and what about black lives when they take the life of a white cop, allegedly so? And it seems to be what happened here. Marlene Ritmanek, 49 years old, gunned down. She was responding to a noise complaint about dogs barking. Her partner, Tyler Bailey, was seriously wounded. He was in surgery just today. This all happened in late December, December 29th. Suspects in custody are these two individuals. Darius Sullivan on the left has a very long rap sheet. He has been arrested 21 times in the past 7 years, multiple times released without bail. Now listen to this part of the allegation, how this hero cop died. According to prosecutors, she was begging for her life when they shot her with her own gun.
Sergeant Ritmanek was pleading with them to just leave. You don't have to do this. Please just go. They stood over Sergeant Ritmanek as she lay on the floor, already having been shot once. Darius Sullivan fired 2 shots from what we believe was Sergeant Ritmanek's service weapon, striking Sergeant Ritmanek in or about the throat and or neck.
These things are happening. These things are happening. And it's not white supremacy or systemic racism that is bringing these things on. I hope Alvin Bragg, the new district attorney who does not have a mandate, 86,000 people voted for him in a city of 8 million people. By the way, we all have to get more aware and more active and more involved. These local elections mean something. I know you know that. Quite frankly, I have forgotten from time to time. We've got to be more vigilant. I'll be right back.